Shoot, my bad. Hold on. We good. Lump sum of money, baby. Lump sum of money. That's what we talking about today. I'm gonna have to do the poll question while we are in this show, because I gotta get started. I was late yesterday. I'm late today, but I'm not gonna be as late today as I was yesterday, and not for the same reasons. But we okay. Everything is gonna. I swear, yo. Can y'all hear me good? Yeah. Lump sum of money. Money, yeah. What we talk, yo. We live and direct. Hit that like button, y'all. Get this thing started. Sunday. Eagles versus Cowboys today. What could be better? Carry right. Grown woman, don't try me. Yo. Therapy with Sun 752, and this the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We do this every single Sunday from 1:30 p.m. till around 2:30-ish. And the reason that we say 2:30-ish is because sometimes it gets so heated that we just have to do a little OT on a Sunday. And it is Sunday. This is the show where adults come out and play with other adults. We laugh, we cry, we argue, fuss, and fight, go back and forth with each other, bust it up all crazy. We take an introspective look into our own personality to see the way that the universe projects us into this thing called the world and try to figure out this thing called life. I'm your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the rrrr. And if you can't say Omar with the rrrr, well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. I'm feeling like a real man should, and I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should as well. Today on the Urban Therapy with Sun show, we are talking about a lump sum of money. A lump sum of money. When was the last time you got you a lump sum of money? You know, a settlement from a case. You sued somebody. Unfortunately, somebody passed away, left you a big wad of cash, more money than you would make in a year's time, and you got it all at one time. Lump sum of money. It can be anywhere from any amount of money that you don't normally have to an infinite amount of money that you wouldn't normally have. But the things that people do with a lump sum of money differs from person to person. And it has a lot to do with the way that you were taught to handle, with the way that you were taught to handle money and cultural perspectives come into the whole conversation and just your ability, maturity, your ability to handle having everything up front instead of things getting pieced off. What's your name? What's that? Dylan Pickle? So what's your favorite team in the NFL? I like them all. I can't think of one that I would particularly, really like. Who does that? What's good? What's that? Cook's Dan? He said, nice head. Slow down, dog. Slow down. Slow. You know what I mean? Turn the volume down on that. You speaking loud right now. We ain't got to do that. My brother Ansel Jones is in the house. What's going on, my brother Ansel Jones? Good to see me some of you, my brother. You already know. How your Ravens doing? That's what I want to know. Because I know they was having a real hard time in the beginning of the season and people was talking a whole lot of stuff about my man Lamar Jackson and whatever. Some of it was warranted. I got to admit. You know what I mean? He got to learn how to he got to get over that Patrick Mahomes hump. He's better than Patrick Mahomes. He got to learn to get over that hump. But that's something that the golden boy on the Buffalo Bills, he got to learn to do that too. The only one that seems to know how to do it, my man Jalen Hurts. He's good at that. Like Mahomes. What'd he ever do? But anyway, so we're talking about a lump sum of money, man. A lump sum of money. The last time you got a lump sum of money? Normally, I would say probably in everybody's life, they come across a lump sum of money. Some thousands of dollars that, they did. There are different ways to come up with a lump sum of money. Like, for example, government workers that were out because of the government shutdown for a month and a half, right? What was it? Month and a half, almost 2 months, right? They didn't get paid that whole time. So they had to get a whole payout of all of the pay that they were owed during the time of the government shutdown. That's a lump sum of money. That's a nice little joint. Now they probably had to pay their bills with that money, and that money was really just their salary. I was kind of hoping that they would throw a couple of extra dollars in there because of the inconvenience that was caused by the government being shut down. I don't know if that happened, but if it did happen, even if it happened on a low, I think that they're deserving of that. I don't like to see people work and not get paid. I know when I work, I get paid. And if I don't get paid, I'm going home early. And I'm coming in late the next day. Yeah, I ain't going to be here working for free. I don't like y'all like that. Y'all right. Y'all right. But you know how it go. You know how it go. Joey Kent says, my mom passed away July 2024. She had 3 homes. I sold, you said I sold and life insurance. 3 homes? What you mean? You sold one and life insurance? So you know what it's like to get a lump sum of money. Yeah, unfortunately, when people pass away, if they had life insurance or they had they had assets. You know what I mean? You know, they had an estate in which you were the beneficiary of. You could either monetize the assets that were left behind and cash out that way, or they may have left you the assets and the cash. Cash. You know, and I'm sorry about your mom. You know, rest in peace to her. That's probably the most detrimental way to come into a lump sum of cash. But a lot of people come into a lump sum of cash. You know, most people, responsible parents, make sure that in the event of their passing, that they have life insurance so their kids will come into a lump sum of cash that will sustain them for a certain amount of time. You know, a lot of parents obsess over the whole life insurance thing. Because how much do you think you would have to leave your children in order for them to be all right past 5 years? Because I don't think we really be thinking about that. Like past 5 years, how much money would you have to leave an adult human being for them to be okay past 5 years? $1 million? Now, they might not make $1 million when you were here. But let's say you had $1 million policy. How long you think that $1 million is going to last in the hands of somebody that's grieving and then paid out of their ass? Well, we got a lot to talk about today in that vein. Joey said millions. Exactly, Joey. Exactly. But we be obsessing like, yo, my life insurance policy, so you'll get $250,000 in the event of my passing. Like, all right, 250 is nice when you work for it, because you'll make it last that way. 250,000 split down the middle, split between, I don't know, 3 children. So we looking at like 85,000 each, some shit like that. Close. It's gonna get that money gonna get spent. Oh, you are spamming, my dude. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Even though you say you're an 18-year-old woman, I don't believe that. Because women don't spam and they don't troll. So even though you're posing as a woman, please do not spam the chat, and you are welcome to keep commenting as much as you want to. But I do not want you to spam the chat. I am not interested in any 18-year-old woman or even a 19-year-old woman or a woman in her 20s. I'm 55 years old and I don't get down that way. I'm not the big papa unless you a big mama. So if she ain't like 45 years or older, I don't want nothing to do with her. No, not 35. I'm not chasing my youth. I ain't chasing nobody. But if I was in the market, I ain't messing with no young girl. So take your little fresh body, your little perky titties, your little not having no stretch marks over having a kid yet. Go back to wherever you came from. Joey says, and most life insurance aren't that kind of money. The homes were way more than the life insurance. It depends on the policy you buy. Some people buy bigger. I think it's interesting that people buy policies that pay out more money than they would make over like 3 or 4 years. But hey, DH03 says, sup, big black? What's up, small white? So how long have you had that chain for, bro? Man, this is an old ass chain. Both of them. Both of these. My gold is old. My gold and my rocks are old, baby. I got this one in 2007 and this one in 2008. And I can prove that. I actually have hardware. Let me move this hardware out of the way. Let me move this. And then this one. We gonna get it out of the way now. Yeah, that's how it's going down. We are talking about a lump sum of money, and we gonna say some things kind of funny. I know a lot of people that got paid, they ain't got $1 to this day. That shit is cray. Yo, what you do with your cash? I can't navigate that shit, but ass is something that's better not spend all your money for pussy. Damn, that shit is woo! What you gonna say about it, yo? It happens each and every day the same ways. I play the way that I play. You do what you do. If you paying the money to screw, yo, at least get some alcohol out of the bed. I know you getting high as a kite. I see you, kid. Everything is going to work out fine, but I'm going to get my money and I'm going to raise my level of shine. And, yo, in time, I'm going to get my things stop right on a dime because I'm pushing the coop and I'm really cooping. I'm doing that shit. You see me out there hooping. Yo, the shots is going in. I'm going in on motherfuckers because they really think that I'm a sucker. You must be crazy out your goddamn mind. That shit is not something around here you ever going to find. Yo, all right, let me get my joint out the way, son. Get my joint out the way. So like I was saying, a lump sum of money, 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 lump sum of money, a lump sum of money. I wish I had a lump sum of money right now. Yo, I would go out right now and like try to paint the town. I'm lying because I save way more than I could ever spend, but I'm trying to be having a whole lot of cash and I'm going to do this from now until then. Yo, everything's going to work out good. And I think that it should because the wood that I've had, I turned that shit into diamonds. Yeah, and I'm glad I'm still climbing. Everything's going to go real good. Everything is going to get understood. Nobody's going to be confused because I'm a winner in this game and I know I can't lose. I won't be abusing nobody. Yo, I got a little girl, got a little hottie, got a little son, and I'm the one 752, not the 75. So, a lump sum of money, baby. A lump sum of money, baby. Okay. So he says, definitely got a nice return on your money then. Well, you know the price of gold now. You know, the price of gold now is on, yeah. I don't expect it to go down no time soon, but I'm not selling. I'm not selling 14K, yeah. And so, okay. So we good. You say I'm whack? Okay, well, that's cool too. That's okay. Lump sum of money though. Lump sum of money. When was the last time you had a lump sum of money? What would you do? What would you do if you got a lump sum of money now? What is a lump sum of money to y'all? What would you consider to be a lump sum of money? Would it be like, $5,000? That's a small lump. It's like a little bump sum of money. I'm not here to, count nobody's pockets or tell them how much should be considered a lot versus the next man. Everybody knows how much money they have and they know how much money they make. But do you know what your potential is to make whatever it is that you want? That's where I've seen a lot of people struggle. They might not know how much they could make. People go to jobs every day and they make the salary that they make, not really realizing that they could probably be making a lot more, but you have to learn how to supplement your income and all that. But supplementing your income is not a lump sum of money. But depending on the way that you do it, it could turn into a lump sum of money. I was a teenager back in the 80s. And back in the 80s was the crack era. So what I saw a lot was a lot of lump sums of money. Sometimes on people's persons, and sometimes pictures. There used to be pictures in the little corner stores. Cats used to take pictures of the money. Imagine queen size bed full of money. This shit used to look crazy. I was like, damn, drug money is crazy. Now, I would never sell drugs. I've never used drugs, but I sure wanted drug money. I still do. Like, how can I get drug money without selling drugs, using drugs, or prosecuting drugs? I guess I'm never going to have drug money. But damn, I would love some, because that's a lump sum of money that looks awfully attractive. Like, ooh, that money pretty. Look at your hair. You got a fat ass, drug money. Ooh, your titties. Ooh, big, juicy. What you wear? Like, that's more than a triple D you got. Oh. I ain't never see titties that big sit up. Anyway, so that's what we're talking about today. So I'm about to take my seat. Take my seat right over here. And let's talk about it. A lump sum of money. A lump sum of money. What do people that you know who have received a lump sum of money, what is the craziest thing that you have seen done with a lump sum of money? What is the craziest thing? Like, who do you know that got paid that did the wackest, craziest, stupidest thing with the money and the money ain't coming back? I'll tell you one thing. Cheryl Halsey, what's good? What's good? Back in the crack era, in the 80s, a family friend of ours robbed they used to have this drive-in dry cleaners. You would drive in the dry cleaners like you would a car wash, and you would drop off your dry cleaning. They would give you a ticket, and when your dry cleaning was ready, you would drive in the drive-through dry cleaners in order to pick up your dry cleaning. It was a nice thing. And a family friend of ours robbed the dry cleaners. It was a highly publicized robbery. Everybody in the hood knew that the dry cleaners got robbed, and we heard rumors of who did it. And at the time, the money that he got was about $3,000. You know, in the 80s, $3,000 was a nice little purse. That was a nice little purse, but he was a straight crackhead at the time. So, as rumor would have it, he smoked up every last Now, he got caught for the robbery, did time for it. But before he got caught, he was hitting the glass quick, fast, and in a hurry. Yeah. Smoked up 3,000. Now, I've heard worse stories than that because crack costs money. Crack costs money. It's a relatively cheap drug in comparison to others, but the reason it costs so much is because you have to use so much of it to get high. And now, not that it takes a lot to get high, you get high fast as fuck. But staying high is that's the challenge, and that's the problem. And that's what keeps you getting high for all night long and for days and days. People, they didn't used to get any sleep. The crack era was what it was, and I guess it is what it is now. Crack isn't nearly as popular of a abused substance as it used to be, but drug dealers made big lump sums off of drug money, off of crack. So every day they was bringing in wheelbarrows full of money, literally wheelbarrows full of money every day. And it was pretty obvious to see what they were spending money on, because the toys was in full and total effect. That's 1986, 87, 88 language. We in full and total effect. So that's how we was living. Because we could do this like Brutus. All right, so they spent their money on cars. Some of them bought houses. They bought homes. Some of them bought businesses where they could kind of wash the money, or, legitimate businesses that were, some of them were kind of like a front for drug businesses, like car detail shops. You see the car detail shop, it has everything in there to detail cars, and you don't see nobody in there detailing shit. You don't even see no cars in there. Nice place, though. Nice. Money was coming in. Lump sum of money. They was making lump sums of money, and they was getting, they took a lot of chances on their freedom, and many of them lost their freedom. And many more lost their lives. What my brother Ansel Jones talking about, he said, when I was 19, was the first deployment, was getting my normal pay. And my normal pay per diem. They gave us a finance class that I still use today. Some people spent the money before the ink could dry. You got a bunch of 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds, just getting paid. Ain't no taxes on military money, from what I understand. It's a nice look. It's nice. Imagine not paying no taxes. Eddie McKay, what's good? Eddie McKay from Belfast. That's what I'm talking about. Got a Mickey in the building. Oh, I meant to put up the, let me put up a poll question. Wait. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay. We almost done here. Let me see. All right. I'm almost done this poll question here. And the poll question is going to be, what's the worst way that you have ever heard of someone wasting a lump sum of money? Easy question. Get these options together. Let's see. All right. Okay. Boom. There we go. There's the poll question. Y'all can get into that. Joey says, I'm sure if you walked into Parks Casino, someone is always ripping, throw that money. Man, Parks Casino, the Sugar House. What do they call the Sugar House now? It's some type of Philly. I don't know what they call it. It's still there. Or the one out in Chester. What's the one out in Chester? That's called the Harris, Philadelphia. That's what they call the one out in Chester. Rivers. Thank you. Thank you. So I see you from around the way. Rivers Casino. Yeah. Yeah. Gambling. Yo, that's a good one. People have definitely taken a lump sum of money thinking that they was going to make more money and gambled this shit away and lost the whole thing. I should have put that in the goddamn poll question. Damn, I should have read your shit before I press send. But yes, gambling the money away. Sheesh. He said, I'm from the suburbs of Philly. What, Delaware County or Montgomery? Don't tell me you from Bucks. You did say Parks first, so you might be from Bucks County. You from Bucks? You from Ben Salem? Montgomery. Oh. Cool. Shout out to Montgomery County. Shout out to Montgomery County. Lordy. Matter of fact, shout out to all of the counties. We're gonna start with Monco. We're gonna start with Monco. Monco is the best county as far as money is concerned. All right. So, okay. So y'all see a poll question. What is the craziest, most wasteful, disgusting way that you've seen somebody blow a lump sum of money? I see, just with the little bit of votes that have come in so far, drugs and alcohol, baby. Drugs. Oh, see, they don't have enough. They don't have enough characters for me to use, Carrie, and they don't have enough options. I wish there was a way you could write them in. I do. I wish there was a way I could write them in. But I mean, not you, not me, you. I wish that the person that's doing the voting could actually write the answer instead of having to choose from the options. Yeah, flipping the cash. Oh, I'm going to buy these houses and then I'm going to flip the houses. That actually sounds like a good plan. But motherfuckers don't be knowing shit about real estate a lot of times when they set out to do this. Fuck around and overpay for houses that can't be flipped. Some people have gotten jerked, bought houses that weren't owned by the people who sold it. You bought a house that somebody else still owns. You ain't got deed the first, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Oh, that dude that you paid the money to? Yeah, we heard that he was around here frauding, but we haven't seen him since he jerked you. Sorry. But I spent my life savings. That was a lump sum of money. What am I going to do? You might want to go back to work. You still look young and strong. Carrie says, I have an aunt who blew $3 million. Wait a minute. The what? Blew $3 million trying to flip it on drugs that she could sell. $3 million? $3 million? My man Magnificent Morocco is in the house. Brian Carter. What up? Brian Carter, bomb harder. What's good? Carrie, what are you talking about, $3 million? If somebody, what? Spend $3 million on drugs? Who are you, Whitney Houston? Johnny West. My dude, he says, why does Philly have private dog parks? How ratchet are you? People that you segregate dogs. I don't know about no dog parks. Now, if there's a such thing as a dog park, it ain't around the way. That's probably some shit that I don't know where they got no dog parks are. Dog parks at. I don't know about that. I really don't. Well, at least I don't know of any dog parks that only dogs can go to. I thought by dog park, they just meant like your dog can shit here. Not in those other parks. Let your dog shit here, curb your dog here, come back tomorrow, later on in the day, after you get off work. Anthony on a budget says, as I got older, I realized my happiness is not your happiness, meaning people will waste the money on whatever makes them happy. That's true. But in your opinion, what do you think is a really wasteful or bad way to waste money? or spend money, however you want to say it. What would you say? For me, drugs is one of the worst ways. Pussy is the other way. Because there ain't no return on either one. I ain't saying that you shouldn't give women money if you love them. But you tricked off your whole inheritance from when Granny left you, when Nana, when my mom, when Big Mama left you $85,000 and you spend it all on pussy. Big Mama up in heaven like, damn. Auntie told you not to leave him the money. Auntie told you. Auntie tried to tell you. Big Mama wasn't listening to no auntie. She said $3 fucking mil. That's crazy. Brian Carter says Eagles better win. I got a stack on them, son. Hey, they win all the other games. Now, I wouldn't bet on the Eagles as far as the spread is concerned. But with their record, a straight up bet, who wouldn't take it? They beat all the teams that they probably shouldn't beat. They lose to the teams that you be like, they beat the Eagles? Look who we lost against this season. The Broncos, even though the Broncos have proven themselves to be a formidable opponent this year, but not when we played them. When we played them, they was pipsqueaks. And they ain't beat us like they've been beating other people. Broncos been whooping ass. We should have beat them. We beat ourselves with the Broncos. But the Giants beat us. Whooped our ass. Right in the same week. We lost to the Broncos on Sunday. Got our ass whooped by the Giants on Thursday. It wasn't a good week for us. But the Eagles were supposed to be ended. But speaking of the Eagles, speaking of the NFL, that's a place where you're going to find young people getting a lump sum of money, signing bonuses and things like that because of a contract that they signed, a professional athletic contract. Now, you see what they do with their money? Go straight to the jewelry store. No, I'm sorry. They don't go to the jewelry store. That shit is such a racket, man. The NFL draft is such a racket. They so predatory. They got the cars, the jewelry, the clothes, all of that shit. The Gucci, the Louis, everything right there. Right there at the NFL draft. Your only safe bet is to know that you're not getting drafted until like the second or later rounds because you ain't showing up to the draft. You get the call. But those first rounders, they got everything that they could possibly want, even the houses. Right there at the draft. They got a list of houses. Like, would you want to live? These are the houses that are in the area. So if you want to live in these houses, you know what I mean? We got the agent right here. Soon as you sign your deal, you can get the keys right here. Keys, baby. We got you. Brian Carter says, dog park down AC Harris while you losing your inheritance money, trapping hoes, drinking and gambling. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Damn, Carrie says she was hit back to back. She hit by 2 back-to-back trucks, major company, green and white, logo colors, after lawyers fees, she got $3 million. Oh. Sheesh. Sheesh. And that was after lawyers? Major. And so says it's crazy the people that struggling school is killing. Struggling school is killing now. I seen how much they pay for college is a gamble. I don't consider that to be a gamble. Because you gambling on yourself. Plus, you don't get a lump sum of money to go to school. You don't even see the money. You might see the money for your refund, but other than that, you don't see none of that money. That shit is sealed off. Can you imagine what 18, 19-year-olds would do if they got the money straight up and down to pay for college? Well, a lot of them cats would be going to college part-time. Talking about they paying for full-time classes. No, you're not. You in a big university, junior college in it. We see you. But yeah, a lump sum of money. I was a comedian for years. Go on the road, you get paid cash. Now, some of those promoters report you, at the end of the year. So you need to be ready for that. Uncle Samuth, the IRS. But you can easily, make a couple of thousand a night. You got to be built like that. Don't get me wrong. For the regular comedian on a Monday or Tuesday night, you might be getting a couple of $100. If you getting that, there are plenty of cats that'll take that $100 on a Monday night, Tuesday night. The closer it gets to the weekend, that's when you start making your money. But there are levels, mad levels. B. Carter says, my son still owe Penn State. He been out 10 years now, ain't paid a dime on those student loans. I know how it be. They forgave my loan. That's why I'm like, I don't give a fuck what nobody say about Biden. Like, he took care of that for me. Trump would never, and he did not. But Biden did. I owe this much on student loans. And I owe them a 20 stack. So Joe Biden will always be my hero. Yeah, I liked you, Obama. But Joe, I ain't even asked. Joe just did it. He's like, look, you had this loan all this time. We gonna go ahead and hook you up. We gonna go ahead and hook you up. And so it was written, so it was done. I so happy. But anyway. Lump sum of money. The crazy things that people do with a lump sum of money. I tell you, that drugs, alcohol, pussy. Now, what about women? Now, all right. Now, Carrie said her auntie wasted a lot of money on drugs. I can see a woman doing that. What are some other things that a woman might do as far as wasting money is concerned? I think that subliminally, we expect women to be a little bit more fiscally responsible than men are. I don't know if that's fair. I don't know if it's accurate. What do y'all think? Because, well, I know some people who who think that women are better with money, and that's why they advocate for a man giving a woman his whole check after he worked for it all week. I wouldn't do it, but somebody does it and it works for them. Dimples D's is in the house. What's going on, ma? How you feeling? Joey said high-end shoes and clothing. But men do that too. How? I guess it depends a lot on what we consider to be a lump sum of money. Like, how much money we talking about? For me, a real lump sum of money at this stage, I'm talking about 20,000 and up. It's not that 15,000 isn't a lump sum of money, but I need 20 in order to, raise my eyebrows, like, because $20,000 isn't normally an amount that most people even save. They might save diligently, but getting to $20,000 ain't an easy save route. People do it, and it can definitely be done. But people don't always do that. Brian Carter says, women buy pocketbooks that cost $5,000 and up. That's true. But how many do they buy? Lulu, lemon costs big bucks.
You have a call from
Kim's Whims. Welcome to the Urban Therapy with Sun show.
I had to think about which one it was you were doing.
Yeah, listen, right now, like my mind and my body is on some bullshit, so I gotta watch my step closely.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, son. Good afternoon, family. Good afternoon, cat.
How are you?
I am well rested. That's all that matters right now to me.
That's a good thing. That's a wonderful, wonderful start to
First
anything.
time, wow. So yeah.
Okay. So you know what we talking about? A lump sum of money. What do people do with a lump sum of money? Now, let me tell you a little bit about what inspired me to do this show, with this title.
Okay.
All right. So earlier this morning, I saw a post that I'm familiar with. It was talking about if black people got paid reparations, they would all waste their money on Gucci and Louis Vuitton and basically giving it back to white businesses or back to white people. And I was reading the comments, and most people agreed with that.
Mm-hmm.
And although I agree with a part of it, I don't agree with most of it, because my position is I don't give a fuck what anybody does with their portion of the money. Pay them the money, because you owe that. And so many black people that I know use that excuse or that reason that we ain't gonna do nothing but give the money back to them anyway, as if they are individually giving it to us. You know what I mean? So that's the reason that a lot of us don't fight for reparations, and some of us have taken a position that we don't need reparations. Neither one of those am I trying to hear. I'm like, If it was somebody who owed you $50, you would be looking for them to pay you back your $50, regardless of whether you were going to go out and buy a bottle of Grey Goose vodka with it. That's so the fuck what? You owe me the $50. You know what I mean? So, so I wanted to know, I want to know what your position on this is. Because I have more of my position, but, I want to know what you think about it.
On the reparation?
No, well, yeah, like
money period.
No, on the reparations piece of it. We can get into the whole lump sum of money thing. Do you agree with what the post was saying? Do you think that most black people would go out and waste the money or give the money back?
That's an argument I hear often, and I work with a company. Well, I work with a grassroots nonprofit that was about getting reparations for Black people. And in that, I heard a lot of that kind of conversation. Well, niggas just gonna take it and waste it and spit it on a chicken and strippers and all this ignorant shit. And I'm like, well, what Sambo are you? Hey, Sambo, thank you for sharing this information with me, because you sound just as ignorant as other people who have put that into your head. Because realistically, the conversation is this country could not afford to pay reparations. So that's the first thing. So the conversation is null and void at the end of the day. This country can afford to pay physically the amount of dollars that it would owe in reparations. Secondly, the conversation about reparations definitely does not have to do with an individual dollar amount, because this country can't afford an individual dollar amount. And then to assume that all Black people are just some old ignorant ghetto ass niggas is stupid, and it's just a self-hate conversation coming out of the mouths of people who believe that and say that. Because I know people who have gotten a lump sum and wasted it, and also who have gotten it and taken care of business and now enjoy the luxuries of it. So everybody Black who would get reparations would take it and waste it is stupid and ignorant. And then, like I said, it's self-sabotage and self-hate. And again, even if this country could afford to pay reparations per person, it would never be enough for the historical damage that has taken place and the consistent systemic racism we live in today globally, not just in this country, but globally. So there's that too. So that's my stance on it.
Okay. Because
reparations definitely doesn't mean a dollar amount. There's no way.
Because people be talking about some, you should, and I'm not saying that this is an invalid way to feel. They like, you should invest. We should be building Black businesses, investing, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, that's true. But if you haven't been doing that when you didn't get reparations, how are you going to expect to do that afterwards? You don't build businesses after you get a bunch of money. You get a bunch of money. I'm sorry. You build your business, then you get a bunch of money. You know what I'm saying? So we already putting the cart before the horse. But, thinking that we all just going to buy a bunch of name brand shit, I think is insulting to Black people. And that's whether it's Black people saying it or not. But since it's Christmas time, I think it would behoove everybody to march their ass on down to their local premium mall. If y'all have a Gucci shop there or a Louis shop, and see who's in there shopping. The last time I was at the great King of Prussia Mall, and they got a Louis shop in the King of Prussia Mall. You can't even just walk in the Louis shop. You know what I mean? They got security in there. You know, so if you think you just coming in there to be window shopping, they ain't fucking with you like that. I never seen nothing like this before. But the important thing is I was watching who was in line to get into the Louis shop. And it was not a bunch of black people. So it was mad white people going into the Louis shop. And I'm like, you know, I get where we're coming from in certain things, but black people gotta stop overstating their importance and their significance in certain things because it ain't adding up no more. By simple math, like the Democratic Party can't win no elections without black people. Oh yeah? Then how the fuck did they lose the last one? And why ain't Trump get no large population of black voters to win? Oh, that's because the Latinos, yeah. I'm like, nah. We not doing that. and you know, these the myth of these of the black dollar and how we have all this spending power. Oh, 1 point something trillion dollars in the black community. We can have anything. You are talking about a marginalized section of where the money is coming from. Just because some people have very good careers and are adding to that number, driving it up, that's not the majority of the 9 to 5 or working poor. That also influences that number, and it's not giving you a clear view of how significant our numbers are as far as the money is concerned. And I also took a look at this whole No Kings protest shit. All right, so black people didn't go to the first one, right? And they didn't go to the second one, and both of them broke records. Now you giving these white people a chance to see that, like, we don't really need these niggas. They running around here talking about what they ain't going to do because they already did shit. Well, looks like more of us are coming out. So we got to be careful of this shit. I'm a big proponent of reparations. We need that money. Our ancestors were slaves. They worked for free. They didn't get paid. The money is owed. We didn't get it, and it needs to be paid out with the interest owed on, with the interest considering the cost of living today. So however much money it is, the same way they paid all that money out in COVID, they need to do that for black people. They ain't doing nothing but printing money in the first place. Do it again. All right, but moving on from that. Oh, and to suggest that we all just gonna go and buy a bunch of crab legs, red bottom shoes, and Gucci luggage and shit. That shit is fucking ridiculous, and I'm personally insulted by that. I am. You know what I mean? Because I know what I'm going to build with my money because I do that now. I get it. I come from that. So I ain't waiting to get a bunch of money so I can be like, yo, I'm a businessman now. No, motherfucker, you a lottery winner. But lump sum of money.
I want to respond to that real quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
please.
Well, the thing about it is, there's one thing that needs to be put in place, even if that was to even be realistic, and that's what people fail to mention is education. That's what's always been missing is education. We haven't been taught the same thing as other cultures when it comes to how to manage money. That's not how our parents were raised. You know, the average. Our parents weren't raised like that. Our grandparents weren't raised like that. Yeah, everybody taught the whole American dream. Graduate, go to college, graduate, find a job, work until you die. Work until you retire. And in most jobs, when people work those kind of jobs, are the kind of jobs that physically has so much physical demand on them But by the time they retired, they didn't even have anything left to put out into the world to live. So there's that. Most of us, that's the dream we were taught. So of course, if that money came through, would be a lot of irresponsibility because the education hasn't been there. There's that. And then as far as the No Kings March, yeah, a lot of black people didn't turn out for the first one, but the second one, a lot more did. That's the reason why the numbers ran up, because black people were involved. I do agree the parties could win for the most part without us.
Wait a minute, it sounds like your cat disagrees. It sounds like your cat disagreed. Your cat disagreed with something that you said.
My cat is an asshole.
Well,
he is an asshole. Don't listen to him.
He has an opinion. He has an opinion like everybody else. But anyway,
he wants some snacks. He is not going to get. That is his whole issue right now. We're not listening to greedy guts over here.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and yes, it's true. The reason why somebody like Joe Biden won during his time was because of the numbers of black women who turned out, black people who turned out. The same didn't go for Kamala because, you know, there was some bullshit that went on. However, that's neither here nor there. What the main part of reparations is about education, not just academia, but education about finances, education about home ownership. The same programs that are in place for every other ethnicity should be in place for us. And we know forever and a day, generations have never had the same privileges. So that's what that's about. I just wanted to add that in there and say that. And yes, some people will waste, but I think it'll be more who will be responsible than waste. Like, we're looking at this image of American black people that the world receives. That's where that conversation comes from. This image of what black people are perceived as and given to the rest of the world. That's the reason why the rest of the world feels a specific way about us, which is insanity, because none of them would exist without us. I
think
super conversation.
I think most black people, to be honest with you, I think most of them would just live their lives with the money, like pay off their houses, their bills. You know, real shit. I think most of them would just. Well, I don't consider that to be wasteful spending. I mean, you gotta live. You know what I'm saying? But I also reject this whole. All right, you talking about the education thing about it. I don't know. I feel a couple of different ways about this whole concept, because we get into thinking that white people have all been taught some kind of financial literacy and shit, and that ain't true. The motherfuckers don't know what to do with no money. We live in the projects. They live in the trailer parks. It's more of them on welfare than it is of us. Where's their financial literacy? Now, sure, because there are less of us than there are of them, then it affects us. It seems like it affects us more in our population, but that's the same way as when we have people who are doing well, that affects us in a greater percentage than it does them. But we be act like, besides the Asians, I don't see nobody out here with no financial literacy. Them Latinos, no, I'm not going for that shit. I know. Huh?
When you say it's less of us and more of them, what do you mean by that?
In the population, as far as raw numbers are concerned.
That's just something that somebody says.
Listen, there are more than us. There are more of us than show on the census, but there are not more white people in this country than there are black people. That's an actual fact.
That's why I was asking. When you said it's less of us and more than them, that's why I'm like, no, that's not correct.
Well, see, you have to understand. You have to understand. I do not give a fuck about any other country except for the one I live in. So I don't talk globally when I talk. I talk North Philly. I talk from the East Coast to the West Coast to up north and down south. because that's where my problems started, and that's where they end. So I don't fix nobody else's problems until mine get fixed, and mine are nowhere near getting fixed. So when I talk, I'm only talking about foundational Black Americans. I ain't talking about nobody else. And I mean nobody else.
I don't know where you came from with that, but okay.
No, because you when I said that there are more of them than it is of us. Globally, no, it's more of a Black world than it is a white world. But in the United States,
in this country, it's not more white people than Black people.
Elaborate. Feel free.
It's impossible.
Okay.
It's impossible for it to be more Anglo-Saxons than it is native people to this space. It's impossible.
When you say native, what do you mean by native?
Because I don't subscribe to the whole Columbus discovered America and wasn't nobody here. Now that's bullshit. It's impossible for it to not have already been Black people in the space that belong to Black people. Where Black people came from. Again, if you know your history, this country didn't exist, but this land always existed. It was only named the America. It hasn't always been the America. China hasn't always been China. The only place that's consistent is the continent of Africa, and it wasn't even called Africa. So how can you lay claim to a place where people always existed? I agree when you say we weren't always brought over here on a bunch of ships that couldn't even survive the travel. That's true. I don't understand what people believe that this land was just here with some Indians who didn't include Black people and some colonizers just came in and built this space, and they were the only ones who existed, and then they brought people over. That's unrealistic.
Okay, but just tell me how you figure that there are more Black people in the United States than white people. How do you figure that?
Well, they're not including people who they call Black, which would be biracial people. They are identified as Black.
Yes, they are.
Anybody who I said they are identified as Black.
Mm-hmm. They should be. That's what they are.
And anybody else who blends, they're identified as Black. So because we have those populations, and not to mention people just who were born of two Black parents, it doesn't even make any logical sense that it would be more white people than Black people in this space. And they're only going by what the census is. That's the only thing they're going by. They're only going by some numbers that look like, oh, it's more white people in these jobs, or it's more white people at these schools, or it's more white people who have these things versus everybody else, versus just the average everyday person who works, who's Black, who decided, I'm not doing the census because you haven't done shit for my neighborhood.
Like I said, I don't subscribe to what the census numbers are. I know that we don't.
I don't either.
So according to the census, there are about 30 to 40 million Black people. I know it's more than that, but it ain't no. First of all, them us being more than them in population doesn't pass the eye test. You go to all of those. When you go to all of those states out near the West, those big ass states, ain't no Black people out there. What Black people do you know are in North and South Dakota? Montana.
Plenty.
No, they're not plenty. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not plenty. And
you see, What about you believes that black people aren't in all these spaces on
I'm
this
saying
state,
when I say when you
in this country,
what makes
in
you
every
say
area,
wait.
there are black
What
people.
makes you say plenty? Now, if you say in a population of, you know what? I'll keep it on the East Coast where all the people are, because this is where all of the bulk of the people, all of the people in the United States are in California, Texas, and on the East Coast. That's where all of the people are. All the rest of that shit, there aren't a lot of people there. So you take a small state like Delaware. Delaware does not even have 1 million people in it. But when you break down the demographics of Delaware, you're going to find black people. You're going to find the majority of black people in cities like Wilmington. You're going to find some in Bear. But it's going to start getting sketchy when you start going to Newark, when you start getting in Newcastle and all. So there are black people definitely there. But when you start trying to say that there are more, then you're going to be wrong as fuck. I live in Philadelphia, grew up in Philadelphia, and Philadelphia is one of the blackest major cities that you could find in population and government. Guess what? Still more white people than black. So it looks like, and plus, I go to football games and shit like that. When you go to, damn, she got cut off. She'll call back. But when you go to, there's a reason why in all of the stadiums that you see, what do you find? That's not just because they bought the tickets. It's them. It's just them. That doesn't bother me. But when we start talking about, when we start trying to, lay claim that, it's more of us than them, no, it ain't.
You have a call from.
Hey, my bad. I don't know if the app dropped or whatever. But I don't know if you heard what I was saying.
I didn't hear crack.
All right. So what I was saying was, like, Philly is one of the blackest cities in the United States as far as population is concerned and city government. So although we are close, like maybe 40%, I think there was a time when we had white flight, we may have gotten up to 50 or 60%. But that is an isolated example. You know what I mean? White people come flooding back in, and it's easy for them to do. You know what I mean? It's easy for them to fill a cup up because there really are more of them than it is of us. When you go out into the burbs, you find a lot of black people in the inner cities. You go out into the burbs, they ain't there. You go out into the rural areas, they're definitely not there. Now, there may not be a whole lot of people, period, out in the rural areas, but for the people who are there, they are white, lily white. We are not represented. You go to their schools, you go to their markets, you go anywhere, you're not going to see us. So in the on the Eastern Seaboard, or in California, and in the Midwest, maybe Chicago, Detroit. Nah, I ain't even gonna say Milwaukee. They got plenty of black people in Milwaukee, but they are absolutely not the majority, not even fucking close. And you go down in Texas, ain't no black people, ain't no majority in Texas. Shit, they might be outscored by the Mexicans, which would make sense because Texas is Mexico. But we are not the majority in this country. We're not even close. Nowhere close. So when you see sporting events and shit like that, you're gonna always see more white people than black people. Not just because they buy the tickets or they can afford it. It's because they are represented there. Shoot, I went to Penn State. Up at Penn State, it's not like millions of people in Center County, but the motherfuckers come from all of those other counties in the surrounding counties, and they fill up 110,000 seat stadium up there, all white. So they got this. It doesn't diminish our significance, but when we start overstating our significance or our impact, we run into major problems. And we've been doing that a lot.
We run into problems because we believe, and we have been taught to believe, that there are more of them than us.
No, there are more of them than us.
And we're taught to believe that we don't exist in these other spaces where we do.
We don't exist in major numbers. And no, we don't. We just don't.
Okay. I just can't believe that you believe there are no black people in North Dakota.
Not no black people, Kim. Not okay. So if they have the North Dakota has a very small population. Let's look it up. What's the population of North Dakota?
North Dakota's population is estimated at 796,568 as of July 2024, which is a new record high. This represents a 1% increase from the previous year and a 16% increase since 2010.
So you got this big ass state that don't even have 1 million people in it. That's why when you see the electoral college numbers, that's why these states don't be adding up to shit. But when you look at the demographical breakdown of a North Dakota, it makes sense. First of all, it's cold as shit. It ain't shit out there. But let's go. What is the demographic breakdown of North Dakota?
North Dakota's population is mostly white, with notable groups including American Indians, Hispanics, and Black or African Americans. The median age is 36.3 years, and men make up slightly more of the workforce at 53.4%, compared to women at 46.6%.
Okay, so white, non-Hispanic, the largest group comprising approximately 81.7% of the population, according to some estimates. Hispanic is 4.3 of the percent of the population. American Indian or Alaska Native is 5.1% of the population, and blacks are 3.4%. Now, because we had a quarterback that went to North Dakota State, Carson Wentz, we had a chance to look at the university and their football team and the school. Lily White. It ain't that black people don't go to school. They do, but there ain't no black people there. And when I say no black people, I don't mean not one. I don't mean not 100. I mean like in comparison. It's hard to fudge numbers like 81% versus 3.4. If it was anywhere close to, if we were even in double digits, you would have to represent that in some kind of way, regardless of a census, because you're going to stick out. But you don't stick out in a state like North Dakota or South Dakota, because it ain't nothing for black people to be. It ain't nothing for them out there. These are some of the old states that people were that forged the Western migration and shit. So them settlers was, covered horse and carriage. They was going out there dying along the way and all that shit. That shit was crazy. That wasn't black people. We were still slaves. So, you know what I mean? Like I said, I disagree with the census as far as how many of us it is, but we are nowhere near the majority. It ain't passing the census. It ain't passing the eye test. It just ain't no fucking way. It ain't no way. Yeah. It can't be that many of us unemployed. But when you look at the employment numbers of the jobs, because that ain't easy to hide. Well, who works here? So if we are the majority and most of us are adults, then you're going to see us represented in the workforce some kind of way. You can't have a business that ain't on the street. So when you look at that and you see that we ain't there, we all home? Are we collected? What like where we at? So no, we not the majority. We're not even close. Not even fucking close. 12, 13% of the population? No, I don't buy that. But anywhere like 30, 40%? No, hell no. We're not doing that because we're just not there. We're not there physically. But anyway, all right. Lump sum of money. What's the craziest thing that you know someone to have done with a lump sum of money that they got?
I know my loved one a few years ago got a lump sum of money, a few tens of thousands. And she literally wasted on cake, lashes, hairstyles, nails, and a vehicle.
How much did she pay for the car?
Well, she bought herself a new vehicle, and her daughter a new vehicle, two new vehicles, her man a vehicle. When I say cake, I literally mean cake. Every week she was purchasing.
I'd be fucking kidding me.
No. Every week she was purchasing these caramel cakes, biscuit caramel cakes from the.
Oh, them shits are good. God damn.
Black on restaurant. Literally. And they were like $30 or $40 a pop. So she was purchasing up 2 or 3 a week. Bunch of restaurant food. She literally went through that money on bullshit. Literally.
Yeah.
She was paying for salon visits for people who were irresponsible. She ended up getting her daughter 2 vehicles because the first one she let her trash ass man take from her and fuck it up. So then she got her another one. She played favoritism with her grandchildren and paid for the one she liked the most at the time to get hair and nails done on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
Just have they wasn't going to school, wasn't going to work, wasn't doing shit, lay around fucking. She was paying that fee for them to do those things. She just didn't take care of business. Just didn't. I love her, but she just didn't. And to this day, I just am like, I cannot believe the funds that she had and could have handled so many things. And she didn't. She just didn't. Just blew it. And when I say blew it, I mean blew it. It just seems unrealistic that someone would be able to do that, but she did. Nothing. And has nothing to show for it today.
Mm-hmm. Oh shit. You brought motherfuckers out of what works? You said,
You have a call.
What do you have here?
From
The one them called try. Well. Hold on. Before you get started, hold on. Let me finish up with Kim. So did she feel any kind of way about what she did with the money?
I don't think she recognized it. I don't think she recognized it because once it was gone, and now these bills that weren't paid exist and are here, she didn't nothing. It just didn't seem any kind of buyer's remorse on her face. It didn't seem any kind of damn, I should have taken this money and done XYZ. I didn't see that from her. I didn't see any like she just didn't recognize it.
Mm.
I was like, oh my God. What the hell? You didn't pay no bills? You didn't catch up on nothing? What?
That's odd. Normally people get the bills out of the way, even if it's just for a month.
She did not. I don't listen.
Damn.
Listen. To this day, I am baffled by the fact that she did not handle this money correctly. Because how did you not do that? How? She didn't.
Were you really surprised though? Like knowing her character, was it a total surprise that she didn't handle none of her business?
It wasn't a complete surprise, but I still was surprised nonetheless because I thought at least she would have done some responsible things.
Like
you know?
Yeah. I understand that. There's a reason I asked you that question.
Yeah. Like, I know you're going to waste a lot of it, but even the things she wasted it on, I'm still like, I can't believe we about these cakes several times a week. I can't believe this much money went towards this business on fucking cake. I can't believe she bought this many fish dinners, and I can't believe she spent this much on ribs.
People will fuck.
It was that kind of thing.
Remember during the pandemic, how much money people were spending on food. You know what I mean? They was crab-legging it. They was crab-legging this city down with that fucking money. And that was only a little bit of money, you know what I mean? So yeah, it always kills me when people spend all their money on food, but in a way, it fits some. For some people, it fits. Like,
I don't understand it. I don't.
Yeah.
I like to say I do, but I don't understand it. Like, all of a sudden, you have to have all of these crab legs now because you have this little bit of money. You haven't been eating them, but now you just spending all your money on them in abundance. You got to get a crab boil in abundance. I just don't think that's the average everyday person.
It's not. It's not. But
yes. But I love her to death, but she was a hood person she wasn't getting crab legs and stuff, but she was still spending unnecessarily on, like I said, cake.
No, I get it. I just use the crab legs thing because that's definitely the culture in this city. They on some bullshit. But I mean, crab legs and shrimp is a religion in Philly. I ain't bullshitting. They always be talking about the cheesesteaks and all. That shit is for the media. Crab legs and fucking shrimp in this city, I'm telling you. It's like most people won't turn that down. When I tell people I don't eat shellfish no more, they be like, huh? It's like when you first stop eating pork. They like, what you gonna eat now? You down to bread and water.
You Muslim?
More? No. See, in Philly, they assume that you just a Muslim. You go up to Milwaukee. When I told my family I don't eat pork, my auntie, may she rest in peace, literally said, "Well, what do you eat?" I was like, "Y'all got steak up here?" I saw a burger joint down the street. Are those pork burgers? Are those literally ham burgers? You know what I mean? Like, she's, because they be eating brocks and they call them brocks like it got a K in it or a C. It's a bratwurst, but they call them brocks. You know what I mean? So we ain't even got that in Philly. I ain't never had a brock. And I ain't discovered that shit until I stopped eating pork. I was like, I bet you that motherfucker's good as shit. They made me want to sneak brock.
Let alone a brock running around the Milwaukee field. The Milwaukee Brewers football field running races.
Right? I ain't never had a brock in my life. They introduced me to a brock. I've been going up there since I was a kid, and I did. I ate pork as a kid. I don't remember no Brock. Where was a Brock then? And it's like a religion up there. That Brock shit is real. That's they cheesesteak. Or they shrimp. But anyway, so listen, when people not used to having shit, they gonna run through some money. And that's why a lump sum of money is something that sometimes the people who are dispersing this shit sometimes try to take control over, even though that ain't right. But they be like, yo, you want to fuck around, smoke up all this money. You going to fuck around and fuck away all this money. You going to fuck around and give this money away to somebody, talking about they down on their luck. And you was just down on your luck 5 minutes ago. And you going to go and pay somebody else rent for a year. Meanwhile, they living somewhere where they don't even pay rent. But they got to rent a year's worth of rent out of you. You're a godsend. The Lord is going to bless you.
But I would be remiss not to include the fact that I know more people who got a lump sum and took care of business. Like you said earlier, the average person with a lump sum would just live. And these are people I know who just live. They took their money, their lump sum, and paid up bills, continue to go to work, and continue to just live.
Mm-hmm.
But live a little more comfortable. That was the difference. They decided, I want to be comfortable. Let me make my life comfortable. Because this, a few thousand, that's a lump sum of money is just that, a lump sum. And sometimes it's not enough to sustain your life forever. So, that's just lottery money. And even if some people are incapable of managing that, some are, some aren't. We hear about the people who aren't more than the ones who do. So,
first and foremost, what's going on, Charles? How you doing?
Troy.
I dozed off on Friday in the hopes of you calling me, son. My bed was so damn comfortable, bro.
Mm.
And I turned around, I was like,
I bet you spent a lump sum of money on it.
On the bed? I spent a lump sum of money on that sleep. How much you got? Okay, take that. You can take the whole check for this sleep.
He spent a lump sum of money on that bed.
But yeah, I know how everybody in the live stream, how everybody doing. Happy blessed Sunday. But let me see. I know a couple of people, but this one boy that was had got a lump sum. He was I think he was in the early 20s or mid 20s. And when he got his lump sum, he tried to flip it. and if you know what I mean by flip it, because he was already in the game.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to flip it. For 2 cars and took care of what he could take care of and this, that, and the other, but you still living with your mom or had an apartment.
Mm.
You got some good coin at the time. And at the end of the day, when you try to flip it, why would you try to flip that when you already had that? You know what I mean? And at the time, he should have bought some properties, especially in South Philly. Because that gentrification kicked in and all that shit everything is up in South Philly. So, I mean, he didn't. I haven't seen him in years. I haven't heard from him. I thought I seen him the other day when I was riding out South Philly with my brother, but other than that, no.
Mm.
And when you talk about, I can attest to when you get some chunk, you get a lump sum, it's a gift and a curse. It's a gift and a curse. You feel happy, and you happy you be able to take care of your bills, take some things for your family, take care of mom, dukes, and stuff like that. But when it's all said and done, and that situation ain't there no more, and you fall, and then all of a sudden you take that slight fall, now you feel like fucking what's that? Somebody, it was a rat song. No, It was when Diddy said at the end of the song, at the end of the song that him and Method Man, him and Busta Rhymes did when Biggie died. You know what I mean? When at the end of when he said, "What I'm gonna do now? What I'm gonna do now?"
It's all fucked up now.
When Biggie died and he did that song with Busta Rhymes, and at the end of that video, you seen him by himself saying, "What I'm gonna do now?" That's how you feel when that coin ain't coining no more. When you get that lump sum. And the fact that somebody that you just sit up here saying, Kim, that somebody bought cakes and cake, what the fuck?
I'm telling you. I'm just like, you wasted that much money.
If you bought that many cakes, you should be on the 600 pound shelf.
Listen, them caramel cakes be good as shit, though.
So let me say, she wasn't just buying it and eating it herself. She was just buying it for everybody. Just buying this cake for everybody.
You get a cake. You like Oprah. You get a cake.
Hey, look, man, them caramel cakes.
Yep.
Them caramel. Hold. Them caramel cakes not regular.
No, they damn sure disrespectful. Disrespectful, man.
They not regular. Them things different.
You
So I don't condone this, but I can see how this happened. Listen, my cousin made me one of them shits last year. I was like, what the fuck? I was ready to put her on a payroll. Like, look, I'm trying to lose weight and eat all this cake at the same goddamn time. I'll make sense of it later.
Like the infamous commercial, you can eat cake.
That caramel cake thing different.
Yes, it do, man. And if you eat it more than once, you start schizophrenic.
I don't know, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. Maybe it's a Midwest thing. I think they do cake different up there or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ate a lot of cake in Philly. That Midwest shit.
Caramel cake is different, man.
That caramel cake, that shit wild. That shit wild. I'm like, this shit should be outlawed. Right after this next piece.
Right after what?
After this last piece.
I ain't eating no more. I'm gonna eat this one cake. I ain't gonna eat no more cake.
You know what I mean? I'm
gonna get one more. I
ain't been eating no cake since that last joint. Had another cake delivered to the job. They don't know.
What was the cake that your daughter made for your birthday?
Oh, that was a pound cake. That was good, but that ain't fucking with this. That ain't no.
You said that ain't fucking with the caramel.
It ain't. Ain't nothing fucking with that caramel cake. I'm sorry.
Well, and that's it. This place here, that was the base of their caramel cake was a pound cake, really light, buttery pound cake.
It's that motherfucking icing, that caramel, that thing. Woo! I mean,
y'all talking about that shit. Y'all got me ready. I don't even smoke a cigarette. I'm ready to smoke one.
Listen, y'all don't hear me talk about food. You'll never hear me talk about food like that. But that thing right there.
Are you taking it on the table?
Look, my cousin made me the cake, right? And this ain't even my blood cousin. This is my aunt, my nine blood aunt's niece. She made me the cake, sent me home with the cake. I told my sister I was going, share some of the cake, like this is my cake, but I'm gonna break you off. Because we went up there for my auntie's 80th birthday party. So I gets back home. I put my sister 4 slices of the cake. And she was pressing me because she know what the cake is about. She was like, oh, make sure that you leave me some of the cake. I said, I got you, Shell, I got you. So when I got home, I took the 4 slices and I took them to my mom's crib because my sister always go to my mom's crib. So I put the slices in the refrigerator. I told my mom that the cake was for my sister. She was like, oh, all right. My mom calls me back like, yo, what's on some old amnesia shit? Who is this cake for? I said, that's Shell's cake. When she come over, she gonna get the cake. She said, all right. Yo, my mom eats the cake. Unapologetic about it as fuck. She ate the 4 slices like it wasn't nothing. Now, however she and she literally said, When she said, I was like, Mom, please don't do that. You know what I mean?
When she said,
I figured out of the 4 slices, she would take like a slice. My mom ate the 4 slices. And my sister, she was calling me back. She said, well, why? You said that you left the cake for me. I said, sure, I did. I left the cake over at Mommy's house. It's in the refrigerator. Cake was gone. My mom was like, well, it was only a little bit in there anyway, so I don't see what the big deal is. My sister was mad. She was mad. I was like, damn, Shell, I felt bad because I had already took care of mine. I was like, I'm not giving away. I'm not getting, no, I hadn't eaten all of mine, but wasn't nobody getting mine. You know what I mean? Like this, I ain't had no way to re-up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry. I did what I was supposed to do.
Re-up on the caramel cake.
I ain't had no re-up.
Well, the thing about it, what makes it such a hot commodity is because it's a process to make that cake. Trust me, it's a process, and once you make it, it's like, I'm not making this until next year. Like, I had to make it when my grandmother was alive all the time, and I was like,
listen, I never had that cake down here.
3 at a time. Huh?
I never had that cake before down here. I never had it. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that they don't make it, but I never had it. I never had it. Never seen it before.
Really? All black homes had a.
There's certain
families make caramel cake.
Just like y'all call stuffing dressing, and it's different because you got all the gravy in it and all that kind of stuff. We don't have dressing down here. We do now, copying off of y'all. But y'all evidently I'm dead serious. I never, growing up now, Troy, maybe it's different for Troy, but I never heard of dressing until until we started going to Milwaukee.
We always call it stuffing.
You always call it stuffing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stuffing.
Wait, I'm not trying to get off subject though. Both of y'all, let me ask you something. If somebody asks you, do you have any mixed greens? Do y'all know what that is?
You said mixed greens?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what mixed greens are to me.
What is it?
Mixed greens is mustard, collard, and turnip greens mixed together.
You know what I mean, son?
See, we don't have that, Kim. We don't talk like that.
See,
you order mixed greens down here. You gonna get some lettuce. You gonna get some fucking kale. You gonna get.
It depends on what capacity. If we're at a place where they sell greens and you say mixed greens and that's what you're going to get, but if you're at a place that's serving salad and you say mixed greens and that's what you're going to get, mixed lettuces.
I'm telling you.
I had did a party for the boy was like a brother to me growing up. Now, on his menu, he has fresh string beans, right? So if you got fresh string beans, I'm like, when you say mixed greens, I'm thinking you're talking about a salad now because you already got string beans. So when I went to give everything to him and everything, he looks at the salad and was like, well, my sister bringing salad. I wanted mixed greens. I said, well, that's not what you emphasize. I brought it up to you because you kept saying mixed greens. Because if that's the case, why would you have two types of vegetables? You know what I mean? You have to, when a person is sitting down with you and you putting a menu together, you have to specify what the fuck is mixed greens. Because to me, that's a whole...
Well...
That's strange to me. That's strange that you guys didn't know there was no discussion about hot greens or cold greens. Because we automatically know if you say cold greens, it's a a salad or hot greens, and it's like collard, turnip, mustard.
It's just a
That is so strange to me.
it's a difference in terminology. We don't have mixed. We never said mixed greens. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't know anybody that mixes different kinds of
all them greens.
I do.
I know
Let
you
me break
do.
it down to you. When you all of them greens cook at a different temperature, you cannot mix everyone at the same time because some of them are not water based. Even collard greens are water based, but some of them are not water based like that. So when you mix all of them together, they're going to come out in a different flavor, and the flavor profile is going to be different.
I don't know what you talking about.
Listen. Y'all come from a different part of the South than we come from. And that's real shit. Because East Coast Southerners go right up the East Coast, and y'all Midwest Southerners go right up the Midwest. So you don't find people on the East Coast that's from that's from like Mississippi or Alabama or like Tennessee and all of that. There's some, but for the most part, all of the Southerners that come up that made the migration are straight from the East Coast, from Florida on up to Georgia to South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and up. So there's a difference between how y'all do and how we do. You know what I'm saying? That's the only difference. So because when I've been going to Milwaukee since I was a baby, and I don't remember them eating dressing. I don't remember that. I was a full-fledged adult when I was, when the whole dressing thing came up. Nick, like, we ain't just start eating this. I just noticed
But is it made the same way and just called different?
No.
That's my question.
Dressing
called different.
Dressing is better than stuffing because stuffing doesn't always have all the gravy and sometimes meat in it. You know how y'all do dressing. That dressing
how
shit.
Do y'all do, I'm gonna ask you a question. Do y'all add the gravy to y'all stuffing when y'all do y'all dressing down there?
Yes, yes, they do.
See, that's the difference.
It's not added.
Mine did.
It's put on top of it. Into the supplement.
Oh, okay.
It's not added to it.
Okay, I see what you're saying, but okay.
So it is made the same way. It's just a different terminology, son.
It depends. Some people make it with the gravy.
Yeah, some people do.
Yeah, some people definitely make it with the gravy. Some people make it with the gravy and the meat. Dressing is a whole meal for some people.
It's not necessarily made with the gravy. It's made with the juice from the meat. That's what it's made with.
It depends. I'm telling you that there are different ways to do this shit. I understand what you're saying, and you're right. But I know people who do it. Like, I've seen dressing being made without a turkey.
Yeah, that's how we make it.
You could. That's how I made.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need the juice from that. You just make the stuffing, and then after we make the gravy, you can just fold everything in. And that would be dressing. That sounds gross. No. Some people make dressing like that.
All
right. Look. We only got a few minutes left in the show. You know what I mean? So, we're going to take it a chance. We're going to do this read our last rites with this lump sum of money and get them out of here. Yeah, we got to get the fuck out of here. So, all right. Troy, did you say what was the craziest or the worst thing that you ever saw done with a lump sum of money?
Yeah, flipping that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to flip it into drugs instead of...
How did that fail?
How did it fail? Because first of all, when you're trying to flip it and you adding people to your team, right? Once they know you already got them coins, they feel like they don't have to give you your money back. So now all of a sudden they messing up your money because they feel as though they don't have to give you that money because you got money. You know what I mean? So now you went from having to deal with flipping this to having to defend your money through the street with some poles. You know what I mean? So now that's how you can fuck that shit up. You thought you had trustworthy individuals, but you really didn't. You know what I mean? So you can mess it up like that. You can mess that money up real easy. You know that. When you sit back and then if you get caught up with the system, if they already know you got shit on the street and you got more shit on the street, now some cops be copping. They be looking. They be looking. They looking a little deeper into you now. Oh shit, he just bought a Benz? The new one? Oh shit. I ain't got the new one. I got to look at him a little bit more deeper.
Well, if you flip the money first, it would.
Shit, last thing I'm gonna say, because I know you want to do the Kim. I had the same bull. I had another bull that got a lump sum, but he did it the right way. But when he didn't go and buy a new car, he said, "Man, I'm riding a fucking Subaru." Not even up to date. When I'm riding a car that I don't want people to even think I got money. Which was smart. You don't want nobody to know you got money. You want people to think you're struggling. But, at the same token, he was also able to wash that money with some businesses.
Mm-hmm.
You seen power.
I thought that's what flipping the money was, but okay.
You had to clean. You had to scrubby dub it. Put it in the wash and dry.
We got some different ways to scrub. All right. The different.
I like how you said to scrub.
To different ways to flip. All right, let's do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do.
You forgot to ask Kim? Oh, you already asked Kim.
Yeah, I already asked Kim. You know what I mean?
We already talked about it.
We done rung it out. All right.
Yeah.
We have
caramel cake.
Yeah. Caramel cake. Caramel cake. Yeah. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious November 23rd, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box, Anika Reese, and also my girl, Ray Berry Petaway from Penn State, and Sharon Brooks, Elonda Powell, Ingrid Patricia Martinez, Shireen Williamson, Tangi Milan Brody, Miss Diva Andrea, somebody who evidently has 2 birthdays in a year. All right, fuck it. Anna L. Fleet. What, your birthday? All right. And Bruce Wilkins Palmer from around the way. Pulaski Town, stand up all day. And Mr. Wadobe. No. Wadobe. Happy birthday to you. Also, my girl Mona Mack. We go way back. And Teen Titan, Delandra Vinson. And last but not least, my girl from all the way back to the 1982. My girl, Kenya Everett. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious November 23rd, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out. Rock on and do the damn to rock out. Rock on and do the damn rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, man, listen, a lump sum of money is something that not everybody can handle, but it is something that most people touch somewhere in their lifetime. What you do when you have a lump sum of money probably will define a lot about your character, your upbringing, your culture, and what you think is important or trivial. But it's always good to train yourself You know, the same way that you probably sat around thinking like, yo, if I ever hit the lottery, I would blah, 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 diggy, diggy, bomb, blah, blah. Well, you should also think that way with $50,000. $50,000 is a lot of money in your hand or in your pocket. But over a year, there ain't nothing but a salary. So you treat your salary like you would something in 90 days. Yeah. And you'll be looking for that lump sum of money again. But you don't know what you got till it's gone. I want to thank all of y'all for coming through. I appreciate you. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night, Monday going into Tuesday, for another Daily Go Getimism show, 2 a.m. in the morning. So make sure y'all come through. I hope y'all enjoyed listening to the show as much as I enjoyed broadcasting it. And I'm going to holler back at y'all. Holla. Peace.